What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 28 of the Twins Out of the Park Baseball 24 playthrough. We are here in July of 2032. July 8th, we're 87 games into the season. We are 50 and 37 in second place in the AL Central. 4 games behind the Dodgers. Tigers. It's a little early recording this, so as of now, we're first in runs against, so the pitching's much improved from last year. A lot of the moves we made have wound up working out, and then our offense has taken a big dip. We're sixth in runs scored, so I have a couple moves lined up that I'll get to in a minute that we can go over to improve this team. Some pretty major ones that I'll see maybe one or two of these guys in this lineup getting moved out as they approach free agency. A guy I've alluded to a couple times, so I don't want to spoil anything, so tune in. You'll check that out, or you can just skip ahead. I'm sure I'll have something in the one of the chapters that gives it away, but whatever. Anyway, let's go through how everyone's been doing this season. So Jack Burkhart's been our best player. He's now starting at shortstop every day. The 60 range is not ideal, but he's a fine stopgap guy, and he's hit insanely well. As you remember, Owen Pena was our starting shortstop. His range went down to a 55, so we gotta, we moved him back to third. I think he was hurt a little bit. Oh yeah, he was out for a week with the flu, but that wasn't huge. But I did put him on the IL, I believe. So Rucker drew some starts. He's been, fine over there at short, about average. So that's good with me. Martini's been really good. 2.9 WAR so far. On pace for about 5.5. I'll take that out of him all day. Palencia has been awesome. 134 WRC plus, 3.4 WAR, on pace for 6.5. And his defense, he's like so year to year with this, with his defense. Like last year he was really bad. This year he's been good. Then a couple of years ago he was bad, and then he's been very up and down. So you never know what you're going to get, but, he brings the bat, so I don't really care. Harrison Sodden's been playing against righties, and 134 WRC plus, he's been really good. In his limited time against lefties, he's been okay. Tommy White hasn't exactly killed it against lefties this year. Yeah. I'm sorry, God. So, I don't know. I like Tommy White, so I'm going to keep him around, but Sodden has definitely, earned himself some more playing time, I think. Ben Hoffman, we kind of had a disaster with Lamar King again, 50 WRC plus. Not nearly as bad as the 5 he put up last year, but Hoffman's now playing, what do I have in that? He's playing King's playing every 4th game, so, still want to get him at bats, but his trade value is plummeted too, so I don't know. Hoffman's my guy for now, and he's had a pretty nice year. Jeff Hatfield, who was we traded one of our best relievers, probably our best reliever for him, and he's been pretty good. Coming off the bench, playing all the outfield spots, he's been pretty good there. This was a long-term move. I knew it at the time where Schreier was going to start, and then, for a year, and he'll hit free agency, and then we'll bring in Hatfield to be our starting center fielder. So, whatever we get from him this year is a plus. He's been about replacement level, which, not ideal, but I think with more playing time, he could be really fine. Mercedes has been pretty bad at the bat, but, he brings defensive value, brings speed, still a really good right fielder. Although he may be moving to left with one of these moves. I probably just gave it away, so may as well get to it. Derek Mitchell has been a huge disappointment, 77 WRC plus. And I have a trade lined up to flip him for a pretty good player. So Owen Pena, he's taken a step back with the bat, but, he's still a good defender. He's cheap, and, these guys are valuable for sure. Schreier's taken a step back, but, he's still a good defensive center fielder, although he is actually a negative zone rating right now. But he got hurt for a little bit, I think. Never mind. Oh, no. That was last year. Never mind. He did not get hurt. I just have Hatfield playing every 3rd game, so that's why he hasn't played a ton compared to the rest of these guys. Derek Mitchell, only 12 home runs. if you're going to hit 215, you better hit 20 home runs at this point. So Tommy White, been disappointing, but I think he can bounce back. He's still got good ratings. He's always mashed his lefties, although looks like he's about even now in his ratings, so it's interesting. Jeff Roy's been a huge disappointment too. He could be another guy look to move. He's a ground ball hitter, and he had a really good year last year, but it's not like his BABIP's much lower. I think last year was more of the anomaly with the 371 BABIP. He's striking out 36% of the time, which is just you can't sustain a major league career like that. So, what was that trade? That was we gave up Juan Esparza. He's turned into a pretty good player. Gage Zeal, who's now with Pittsburgh. Villicano, who's probably too early to tell, although he's still down in rookie ball as a 21-year-old. Luis Ravello, that's tough to give up. He's a really good defender. We probably could have used him as short. And Juan Hernandez, who I always liked. Looks like he's down in Double-A for them. So, that trade may not have worked out entirely well. At least we had a good season out of him. But we'll see what we can get for him at this point. And Lamar King, we went over him. So the pitching's been much better than the hitting. So Mike Wolf, he's having probably his best year. 2.02 ERA, on pace for 8.2 WAR, 10 RWAR. Really good season. Hagen Smith's been good. He's had a couple blow up games the last 4 outings he's been in. So that's ballooned his ERA, but he's been really good. Probably not worth this contract, but I just looked if I needed to flip him, I could, because the money's getting kind of tight at this point. So if we needed to flip him, we definitely could for nothing, like a salary dump. Will Warren's been solid, league average pitcher. This is what we want out of our 3 or 4 guy. Probably more of a 5 because Glazebrook's been awesome. Cut down the walk rate significantly. Maybe a few too many home runs, but I think that can go down as well. And he's on pace to throw 32 starts, so love to see that. And Mike Carson, we called him up pretty early into the season. Bruin was a disaster in his first 4 or 5 starts, and Carson's been really good. So, he'll probably never lose that rotation spot, I would assume. He'll probably be like the Mike Wolf replacement if we do wind up losing him in the long run. And the bullpen's been great. Jack Neely, well worth the whatever we're paying him, 13, 14 million. He's been incredible. Locked down the closer's role. He's been great. Noah Dean we re-signed him to that $4 million deal after we declined his team option, and he's been awesome. Returning to form, maybe not with the pressure of the closer's role. And really happy with him. Miguel Rondon, who we acquired from Oakland for Tegan Coons and David Aguilar. He's been really solid, 3.07 ERA. Not a big strikeout guy, but a good overall arm to have. David Benison, who I've been excited about this 80 fastball, but no other pitch. He's been really good, but he's been out there. Maybe the underlying metrics aren't this 2.1 ERA guy, but, still a really good arm. Carlos De Los Santos has been, I think he's been better than this ERA indicates. A couple really bad games recently that's ballooned his ERA. Not striking out as many guys, walking too many. I don't know. We're going to stick with him at least for the next couple of weeks and see if we need to upgrade there. Antonio Jimenez, I've called him up. He's been good when he's been in the majors. Gismondi, a big bounce back year. The league average ERA isn't that impressive, but he's kind of like my mop-up guy where, like the Huang role from years ago where he would come in if a starter had a short start and then kind of get me to like the 6th inning or 5th inning. And he's been good in that role. So really no complaints there. Much better than last year. At least he's actually pitchable. And John Lash, you could see, is down here. He had a really rough start to the year. Let me check this out. Yeah, so April he was miserable. He was in the closer's role. He lost that. No, he was in the setup role, but he lost that, and he's been awesome since he's been demoted. So. I'm cool with him down there. I don't really need him to be my setup guy right now because Dean and Rondon have been really good, and I got other guys I can put in there. So I like Lash in this multi-inning role. He's been really good in it too, like pitching 2 or 3 innings per appearance, and he's probably more valuable there than a 1-inning guy anyway. So let's get to our trade. So we have a trade lineup with the Marlins. We're going to be getting Brady Allen, who, not the best defensive guy, but really awesome bat. He's been really good throughout his career. He's 33 years old at this point. I guess he started with the Tigers. He's a real life player. Let's see. So he was drafted by the Marlins in 2021, released by Miami in the save, and then signed with the Tigers. Really wasn't much of a player. It looks like he must have, had some kind of talent change randomness help him out. So, and he's been a 113 WRC plus guy, but over the last couple of years, he's been much better than that. So he's 33 years old. He's under contract for this year and next year, so we'll get him for a year and a half, the same amount as we'll have Derek Mitchell, but probably without the volatility of Mitchell, where he can be like either a league average hitter or a really good one. But Mitchell, he's been good. He's one of our 13th round picks that turned out to be a stud. Also giving up Jesus Bonilla, who's not a nothing prospect, but he struggled down in high A, and to make this deal work, I'm cool giving him up. So we pick up Brady Allen, right-handed hitter. I definitely like that with our, we're a little lefty heavy with our good hitters, I'd say. Fly ball hitter. Not having the best year, but I think this trade benefits us. Mitchell's a good player, but at this point, we got to go for it. So I'm going to pull the trigger on this. We pick up Brady Allen, 33-year-old. They don't like that we got rid of Derek Mitchell. I don't blame them. But they like that we got Brady Allen. So throw him in, and he'll basically just slot into left field probably. Probably left. It's less valuable than right. So maybe we'll have, I don't really want to have Mercedes lead off, but he's probably our best option here. We'll probably put Allen in the 5 hole. That's cool with me. Brady Allen, put him there, and then have him clean up there. So we get another big bat in the order. That's huge. Hopefully that can improve our offense a bit. Besides that, I think that was our big hole offensively, which was a corner outfielder, because you can't have Mercedes and Derek Mitchell not hitting in the outfield. And Mercedes under contract. I like him better because of his speed and his defense. So that just seemed to make sense to me. And we'll move ahead and kind of move closer to the deadline. Or I'm pretty sure the draft's in a couple of days, All-Star game. So we'll sim maybe a couple of days and get to that. We'll just do it on camera. We're right here anyway. So a 9-3 win. I do go through every box score as we play through. Benison had a nice day in relief. So next game against New York, we win 11-0. So it looks like the trade's paying off so far. Brady Allen, home run, and what is that? I don't know how many at-bats he's had. 4 hits so far in a couple of games. Tommy White turning it on. Love to see that. And cool. Well, 2 good games for the offense. That's awesome to see. And one more game until the All-Star break. Teams were just announced today, and we win 10-5. So what is that? 29 runs in 3 games against the Yankees here. And a really good game for the offense. Lamar King, couple of hits. That's good to see. Carson, not his best start, but when you score 10 runs, you don't really need it. So let's go to rosters here. So in the AL, Mike Wolf, the starter, of course. Awesome season for him. Noah Dean makes the All-Star games. Great to see. It's been great value for $4 million. Jack Neely also makes it, not surprising. DeMartini, Palencia makes it back after missing last season. And they're both starters, so that's cool. For the rest of the infield, no one. And the outfield, we have no one else. So what is that? 5 All-Stars is pretty good. I think it's much better than last year. And we've moved within 2 games of the Tigers in first place. So we'll, I guess the first-year player draft is today. May as well check it out here. It's been a long long take. This guy looks really good. I assume he'll be a top pick. Wow, so some nice players here. Let's see who St. Louis takes. That's a good pick. Although his defensive home may not be at third. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know if I guess it's a generational bat, but and I kind of want someone who has a defensive home. If I'm taking him first overall, Billy Moose, another nice player. Another questionable glove though. Another guy. So I want to see who takes that catcher. That's a really good player. Really well developed and whatever. I'll just send him to my pick. Man, he dropped pretty far to the Diamondbacks. That's crazy. They got good value at 14. Okay, so I don't know if I was only looking at batters, but let's go to all players. I'm already intrigued, although the three fastball is so common in this game where, the guy will have a fastball, sinker, and cutter. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you only have a curveball for an out pitch, and the changeup's hit or miss in this game, and it's always been an OOTP, I don't know if you can trust that to ever develop, particularly. So Steve Kenny, I like him quite a bit with the high catcher ability, although the arm is really questionable, and I don't know if I'm cool taking that risk with the first round pick. Let's see. Trey Connors, but a ground ball hitter, maybe not the best value. Eric Mulberry, I like this guy a lot. High work ethic, 19 years old. Really good all-around arm. 55. The pitches aren't going to knock you away, but he's got a really good mix here. Slider, curveball, knuckle curve, and a sinker and a changeup as well, although, the changeup, as we talked about, hit or miss. He's impossible to sign, so that probably takes him out of the running, unfortunately, but that's a really good pitcher. Mike Wilding could be a really good third baseman, but he's a little young. I don't know. I actually like this guy quite a bit. Not the highest upside, but a really good glove at third. Can play shortstop if you need him to, I guess. Fly ball hitter, lefty. Kind of Jeff Roy-esque in that way. Really young and a lot of bust potential. I don't like that he's a low I. Interesting player. So yeah, definitely not the draft class that there was last year in the save, but Johnny Reynolds, he's probably a second baseman. I don't know. I think positional value is pretty key. Honestly, this guy is not bad. Fastball, slider, curveball. The curveball is not really an out pitch. It's more of a assisting weapon, I guess. And then the changeup, you can't bet on that. I actually like this guy quite a bit too. $13 million bonus demand's probably going to take him out though. Fastball, sinker, slider, side armor. Ken Boyd. Ooh, this guy's like a Nolan Arenado light at third. He's 21 and not really too far developed though. All right, so we've looked at most of these guys. I'll narrow it down off camera and we'll get back. All right, so we're back. This is probably going to surprise a lot of people, but this guy I was looking at from the beginning, Izaguirre, I think is his last name. Alejandro Izaguirre. Awesome defensive shortstop, even if the range isn't great. Everything else is going to play. And I don't think we have a supplemental pick this year because Correa would have accepted the qualifying offer and Nola wasn't allowed to get one. So I don't want to miss my chance on getting like a really good defensive shortstop because we've invested a bit in the position recently. Like Stathis, we got him in the first round last year. And, I still have hopes for him. Maybe not the best defensive shortstop, but definitely a good bat. And then Trujillo, who we signed this offseason, was like our big international free agent signing, but he's a bit away. A guy like Izaguirre could probably play in the majors right now. I'll probably start him in like A-ball, but yeah, he has really good speed. I just think he has a high floor and a really good defensive shortstop, which we don't have in our upper minors at all. So I know you don't really draft for need, but a really low bonus demand that'll allow us to spend more in the later rounds. So I think I'm gonna go with Iziguara. I mean, I was considering some other guys like Betancourt. Like I like him a lot, but we have a ton of pitching in our system and not a lot of hitting. Ortega was another guy I was looking at, but low work ethic. Yeah, I can go through a bunch of guys that I was looking at, but like I don't know. I just want to really settle in Iziguara here. Even if he doesn't have the highest upside, he's a really steady guy that we could use. So I'm gonna draft him, and a bunch of guys are still available. So we'll be back with our second selection. All right, so this is a guy I was actually looking at in the first round, Kevin Urban. Um, Shockingly similar to Mike Wolf, even with the pitch mix. I mean, he has two curveballs, which isn't great, but the really high pitches, high stuff. You could definitely make a comparison to him, just a younger version. Mike Wolf was a college arm when he came out, and I see these guys as very similar players. I don't love that he doesn't have like I don't know, something besides two curveballs, but I think it's a good risk to take, and because we were so low on our last pick with our demand, we're able to take Irvin here. So, he's a little over slot, but I'm definitely cool with taking him here. There's some other options, Ortega, but low work ethic, 18 years old. I don't know. I usually have to go with college guys here, but I guess there were some good players, but I don't know. We always need lower minors pitching, so take Irvin here, and like Ortega's still available. It might not be a bad spot to take him. Multiple trips to the All-Star game, I guess. Righty bat, which I like, but I feel like we've taken a lot of righties recently. Low work ethic kind of scares me a bit, but yeah, let me go through this and find someone really quick. All right, so the third round pick, we're gonna take this guy Joel Dowell, 75 outfield range. Pretty decent bat if he develops. 18 years old, of course, a lot of bust potential, but a line drive hitter, spray hitter, great speed. At the very least, he'll be a really good defensive replacement or like a fourth outfielder. So, Joel Dowell, we're going to take over the third pick and move to the fourth round here. So, I did like Steve Kenny a bit, quite a bit, in the earlier rounds, and he's still available in round 4. I just want the slot bonus demand. I like this bat a lot, and I think his defensive ability can play a catcher. Our scout thinks he's the highest ceiling imaginable as an elite catcher, which, at 18 years old, he probably won't get there. But, as a slot demand, durable, I think it's a no-brainer here in the fourth. So, he was a guy I was looking at in like the second round, too. I like this guy quite a bit. Butch Hagler, another lower minors guy. Not the best work ethic, but maybe we go. Mobley, I would have loved to take him, but the impossible demand, and we don't have a ton of money left. Probably not going to happen here. I like Ken Boyd, good defensive player. The bat doesn't have a ton of upside, but if that glove plays and he develops, an average bat with a good eye, good home run power, I could see him being like a 6-year guy at third base for us until he hits free agency. The ground ball hitter. We'll look through a little bit more and get back. So what I noticed is we don't have a ton of like these like high contact, high avoid Ks guys, and CJ Berlin isn't just that. He has decent power too. He'll only stick at second base. His outfield not really ideal to play there, but he could be a really good second baseman, a contact guy. So I think I'm going to take C.J. Berlin here in the fifth, and then, really low bonus demand too, which is big for us because we have about $3 million left to spend. So, and that's all of our budget room too. So, we're going to go through the rest of the draft and get back afterwards with an update. All right, folks. So it's a couple days later, and July 15th, and we're going to make a couple trades here. So we kind of just need like one more bullpen arm at this point. De Los Santos, I'm not sure if I trust him at this point. There's control issues and stuff, so we're going to make a trade. Ivan Armstrong, who is a really good all-around reliever, ground baller, slider, sinker, love that combo. A righty, and he has a couple of years of control, it looks like, although a little expensive. We're kind of just flipping some minor league guys. Cam Robinson, not a bad reliever by any means. And then Eric Alvarado, who's been with the team for quite a few years, just AAA depth kind of. So they're retaining all of this deal. So Cam Robinson's their big get, even though he's 33 years old. And Eric Alvarado, not a unusable player. Maybe can make the major leagues, but that's the first trade of this array of moves. So that brings us to the Rockies. So then we're gonna flip De Los Santos, who he has all this stuff to be a good reliever. But yeah, we're trying to win this year, and I can't really wait for him to figure it out. So we're gonna pick up Josh Bohawk, I think is how you say it, fly ball hitter. Decent potential as a 23-year-old. Might not ever be anything, but it's worth a shot. And then Nelson Marrero will also pick up. So. I like De Los Santos. I kind of mentioned how he probably had some bad luck in these couple games, and the BABIP is high, but the control issues I'm concerned about, and yeah, I think we need something more of a sure thing, I guess, and yeah, I think these trades are beneficial. So I'm gonna pull the trigger on both of these right now, and kind of just flip a reliever for a reliever. I think we actually got the better prospects too, which is weird. You don't see that very often, but I guess this is a video game, so that makes a lot of sense. So I wonder where those guys wound up going, just so we can put them in the right spot. Bohawk, I mean, he's probably fine for, I don't know why they had him in rookie ball, but I'm going to put him in high A, I think. And then Marrero, we could also put in high A, I think. I don't know if any of these guys will ever be anything, but it's worth to have that minor league depth and such. So there we go. I think our bullpen's in pretty good shape now. We have some guys down there that we can call up. Watson's almost back from his rehab assignment. I'll probably call him up actually now. I don't know who that bumps to the pen though. That's maybe he goes to the pen, but no, I like Watson a lot, and I'd rather have him start. Maybe Leesbrook's been too good to put out there. Carson's been too good. Maybe we run with the 6-man rotation just to save some arms. Maybe we, I was looking for trades for Jeff Roy just because, we're trying to win now, and he's 26 years old, almost 27 at this point, and the strikeout rate is not improved. He's been pretty miserable all season, but especially recently. I guess he had a really bad April, and has been better, but not great. Yeah, we've given him plenty of opportunities this season. I think it might be time to move on. So I'm looking for a trade for him. And at that point, we'll probably, call up another pitcher and run this 6-man rotation for a bit. So we'll be back with maybe a Jeff Roy trade. Maybe not, though. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're here at deadline day. We have a doubleheader against Kansas City, but I think that's all we're going to do for trades. We've been on a pretty good run since we did all those trades. You can see a lot of green here since the All-Star break, and I think we're in pretty good shape at this point. Brady Allen's been pretty good. A couple rough games in a row for him, but I have faith that he'll be fine. I wonder how Mitchell's been doing, actually. Check in on that. It's small sample size, of course, but yeah, he hasn't done much. He could definitely turn it around, but maybe a bust. I don't know, but we'll see. I think we got a good trade out of that. And the bullpen guys, Ivan Armstrong's not my 7th inning guy. He hasn't given up a run in 4 2/3. We moved Glazebrook to the pen after this pretty bad performance, and he's been good. Watson's had a couple of good starts since he's come back, and Warren struggled. Smith struggled a bit, but I think the team's in pretty good shape heading down the stretch here. So that'll wrap up episode. Let's actually go through this deadline. Yeah. Okay. So we actually have had 2 doubleheaders in 3 days against Kansas City. So Mike Wolf, not a bad performance, but not his best. And then Carson was good, and DeMartini a big game there to win game 2 of the doubleheader. So there we go. We're past the deadline, and we'll talk to you guys next episode, and we'll finish out the season, maybe playoffs. It's looking like we'll probably make it in some capacity. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.